Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I got my hands on some new makeup items from the Chanel Fall 2020 collection. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am a makeup artist as well as esthetician. I have years of experience in the industry and I now have an online beauty consulting service. So if you have any makeup or skincare questions, any beauty concerns in general, whether you need a one-on-one makeup tutorial, whether you need a skincare guide, whatever it may be, you can make an appointment with me and talk to me virtually one-on-one as your private beauty consultant. There's a link in the description box down below for you to make an appointment with me. So in the collection, I picked up the eyeshadow palette, number 364 Candeur et Séduction. And I also picked up two new eyeliners. These are the waterproof Stylo Yeux, number 955 in Romance and number 959 in Psyché. Okay, so let's break this video down. I'm gonna go ahead and start off by talking you through the collection that's available, what I picked up and why. I'm gonna do a full makeup tutorial using the palette that I got, and then I will also do some side-by-side swatch comparisons to Candeur et Expérience, which is hands down one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes ever. All right, let's begin. So first of all, there are two eyeshadow palettes to choose from for this collection. There is Candeur et Séduction, the one that I got, and there is Candeur et Provocation. Now, personally, I found that Candeur et Provocation kind of reminded me of warm memories. They're not identical for sure, but there was just something about the shade selection that reminded me of that. That being said, I think Candeur et Provocation might be more wearable. It's definitely lighter. It's definitely more subtle. I think Candeur et Séduction is definitely the bolder palette of the two. Seeing as I am a makeup artist and I am not shy when it comes to colors, I went with Candeur et Séduction. I have to say that I have seen many videos. Lately, I've seen Angela Van Rose. She did a beautiful video comparing both of the palettes, as well as a palette from Tom Ford called like Amber something or Burnished something, I forget. But she did a really beautiful comparison side by side. So did Hey It's Jacqueline, and on her skin tone, I feel like both palettes almost looked quite similar. There's also Carolyn at CV Makeup Lover who did a really good comparison side by side. Who else? There's Sean at Sean K Beauty, and I think also this morning Michelle Wong just posted her video. So I feel like I've been able to see enough people get both palettes to make a decision, because at first I thought I would buy both palettes right away just to swatch them for you and show them to you, but I feel like at this point a lot of people have bought both and swatched both side by side, so I thought I would just go with the one that I really loved. So in the collection there are also two new Rouge Coco Flash lip colors. They both look really nice. I love this lip formula. I think it's very comfortable, but something about this collection didn't really draw me to the lip colors. It was more the eyes that I was drawn to. And there were also a couple nail colors. Now I love nail polish, I love Chanel nail polish, but these two didn't really do it for me. The lighter color Égérie certainly is not for me. I don't really love nude nail polish. I find I need some color, I need some punch, or I need the nude to be completely stark white. That sort of beige pinky skin tone is not for me. And then there's one nail color called Interdit. This does look really nice. It looks very similar to Rouge Noir, but maybe just like a little bit lighter. And it looks like a beautiful color, but just not enough to make me purchase it right away. And then there are also two eyeliners available. I picked up both because I think they are so pretty. I love the one lighter one. I think it's going to be super beautiful. But then you have that darker one that's not a black color, but is still a really deep color. I think it's going to be so beautiful. And then in the collection, there's also two new Rouge Allure Ink Fusion. So I like this formula. I like the texture. I just wasn't like in love with the colors. There's one that's a bit more of a brown. I think if I was going to get either of these colors, I would get the brown. The red looks really nice. I just have a lot of red and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it that much. And then they also have a new Rouge Coco lipstick. This one is called Attraction. It looks really beautiful. It looks like a really dark brown. I haven't really gotten into dark brown lipsticks, but I'm sure this would look really lovely on some people. And then last but not least is a product that I was really disappointed by. I didn't buy it, but I wanted to. This was the Baume Essentiel. So online, this looks like a blush. Like you think it's going to be one of the Les Beige blush sticks, but it's not. It's a Baume Essentiel. So that's basically a glossy highlighting stick. And in the photo online, it looks like a pink blush stick, but it is not. It's just a rose tinted glossy highlighter stick. So if you are thinking of getting it, just be aware, this is not a blush, it's a highlighter. It's very, very sheer. It has the sheerest amount of pink to it. Okay, and so for those of you who are curious, I am Canadian, I live in Canada, I live in Montreal, and this collection here is available at The Bay and Holt Renfrew. It's not available on the Canadian Chanel website yet, but what's interesting is that Holt Renfrew said that they weren't going to have this collection until August 15th, but the Bay already has it. So I don't know what's going on, I don't know what that's about, but I got mine from the Hudson Bay. I talked to Miriam at Carrefour Laval, and she set me up with this collection here. Okay, I feel like that's enough talking. Let's get into the makeup. So in this Candeur et Séduction palette, I think I will start off by going into the more bright cherry color here. I'm gonna go ahead and use the little sponge tip applicators that come with the palette. Don't throw these out. I know they're not very glamorous, but they can be really great for just transferring product from the palette here onto your eye. So I'm gonna go into here with that beautiful cherry color. I've also primed my eyelids. I always prime my eyelids in every single video, every single makeup look that I do. I use the NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow primer. Okay, so that looks pretty opaque. That's pretty true to color. And now going in with a clean brush, let's just buff this out a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit more of that cherry color and bring it up a little bit higher. If you guys are new to my channel, whenever I get a collection, I will create several different looks with the same palette or same collection. So if I don't create the exact look that you want today, I will be here several more times with the same eyeshadow palette and same eyeliners. So I would definitely recommend you subscribe if you have this collection or if you're thinking of getting it, because that way you will learn a lot of different ways to use your products. So this palette here, Candeur et Séduction, is 3 matte shadows and 1 satin shimmer one. And the shimmer is very shimmery, it's very beautiful. And then taking another blending brush, I am just buffing out that color here. I just don't want it to be like that cherry color and then skin tone. I want it to be a bit more gradual. Okay, now that that's done, let's go into the more brown shade here. And using a more pointed brush, I'm gonna put this in the crease here. There definitely is some fallout with this darker color here, the brown one. I mean, we're doing our eyes first for a reason, but there is fallout, you should know that. And again, I'm just going to blend this out, mixing both colors together. This palette is definitely the more intense of the two. I don't think this one is like the most easy peasy. I think between this one and the other palette, if you're just looking for like an everyday palette you can reach for all the time, I would recommend the other one, Candeur et Provocation. The reason I got Candeur et Séduction is because I wanted something that was specifically fall themed or fall inspired. The red, it reminds me of like foliage, of candy apples, that sort of thing. So I did go ahead and use some makeup remover here just to clean this up because it was getting a little bit out of hand. Now going back into that first color, the cherry shade, I'm gonna go ahead and use a tapered brush and trace this under the bottom lashes here. Okay, let's do the face makeup and then I'll finish up the shape of the eyeshadow afterwards. For my foundation, I'm going to go into my Armani Luminous Silk in a 5.5. And then for the concealer, I'm going to go into my Clé de Peau concealer in the shade Almond. And then for the blush, I'm going to go into my Chanel Jeu Contraste in Jersey. So for the highlighter, I have this Chantecaille liquid highlighter. This is the Liquid Lumière Illuminator in the shade Brilliance. I just have a little bit on the back of my hand here using a brush. Just going to apply a little bit. So both of the eyeliners that I have, I think would look really nice with this eyeshadow look here, but I think I want to lighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to go into my Romance eyeliner. And then for the lips, I'm going to keep this very neutral. I'm going to go into my Chanel Rouge Coco Flash in 82 Live or Live. And I almost forgot, I should finish up my eye look with some mascara. This is the Volume de Chanel in black. Okay, so this is the finished look. I love it. It's dramatic, it's bold. I don't know, I'm a huge fan. I think it's wonderful. I have naturally very dark brown eyes, but I feel like with these colors, they almost look a little bit more light. I know red eyeshadow isn't for everyone, and I totally understand it, but I really love this palette. I think it's fabulous. I think it's dramatic. I think it's just extra and everything that I want. Okay, now it's time for the swatches side-by-side comparisons. Okay, so for the eyeliners, on top we have Romance and on the bottom we have Psyché. I'm going to go ahead and draw lines of other eyeliners that I just have in my collection here that I think might be similar and would be helpful for you guys at home. So the first one here is Eros. This one is the beautiful burgundy red with a little bit of shimmer in it. As you can see, Psyché is more of a matte dark brown, and it's a little bit more plummy and purpley than Eros. And then we also have Brun Agapé, which is definitely more brown. We can see that Psyché is more purpley, more plummy here. And then I have Charm. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on the bottom and top as well, just to compare. So as you can see, Charm definitely looks more purple when you compare it, especially side by side with Psyché. Psyché just looks like a brownish burgundy. So hopefully these swatches can help you guys at home. And now let's get into the meat and potatoes. We have Candeur et Expérience versus Candeur et Séduction. As you can see, Candeur Expérience is very well loved and very well used. Okay, so when you swatch these side by side, they really show a little to no comparison, you know? There's really only that deep dark red color from Candeur et Expérience that I swatched at the bottom of my hand here, and I swatched it next to the brownish red shade from Candeur et Séduction. These are the only ones that look sort of similar. When you swatch them side by side, they look very, very identical. There's a little bit of a difference, you know, but it's pretty close. The rest of the palette looks very different. I think Candeur et Séduction has more purple, has more pink, and has that really beautiful shimmer color. I have loved Candeur et Expérience for a very long time. As you can see, it has been one of my all-time favorite palettes forever, basically, and it still is. I don't think Candeur et Séduction has replaced this at all, because to me, these are two very different palettes. To me, I look at this more for the browns and neutral color, like the transition shade. I don't use the red from this that often. And for me, Candeur et Séduction is more of a cherry and plum color, and really this beautiful shimmer color I think stands out. I really like this palette. I think it blends very well. I think the quality is there, the texture is there. These are all 3 matte colors and 1 shimmer color. I don't think that this is the very first palette that you buy yourself. You know, these are very dark colors and there are 3 matte colors, so they're quite intense. I think that Candeur et Provocation is probably easier to use every single day. I think if you already own a palette like Candeur et Expérience or elemental or clair obscur, you know, those more neutral brown palettes, I think this is a great addition. I just think it might be useful to use some of the transition shades in this palette here. So to recap, I think that both of these palettes are surprisingly different. I thought they would be quite identical, but they're not. It's only the red colors that look a little bit identical, but for me, the rest of the colors really help differentiate the palettes. And the eyeliners I think are beautiful. I cannot wait to create more looks with this and get fall inspired. I will get my spooky pumpkin decorations out and get some pumpkin spice lattes and get into the festive fall spirit. All right, guys, I think this about does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas. I hope this helped clarify. I hope you got some good swatches, because online swatches versus like flesh and blood swatches are very different, so I hope this helped. Please let me know down in the comments if you bought this collection, if you have stuff on hold, if you're going to buy it soon, what are you planning on buying, or what did you already buy? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys do not know, every time you leave a like or a comment on a video, it really helps the content creator, me in this case, because every time you engage with a video, YouTube sees that as positive and will send more people towards that person. So whether you like or dislike, whether you leave a nice comment or a mean comment, it's all the same. On that note, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. So thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.